everybody, it's Alyce-Kay at Threshold of Hineni in Sweetwater, Tennessee. I almost forgot where I was. I just have a few things that I want to do today. We have already bound our journal, and I went through my papers that I had printed to look for anything else that I might want to put in before I start making cards and other ephemera. So what I do is I print out a lot of stuff. And I'm not necessarily going to use all of that in this journal. I mean, I could use this someplace else in a different journal. As I explained in another video, I tend to use 2 or 3 different color schemes, and so those things can become interchangeable. And the stuff from Melody's DigiKit is beautiful and would work in a lot of the journals that I'm already doing. So I don't feel like I have to use all this up. But I just went through the things that are not on cardstock, because the cardstock is all going to be ephemera. I went through the stuff that's not on cardstock just to see if there's anything else that I want to use before I start working on ephemera. And that doesn't mean that I can't add more envelopes and pockets and stuff, but it kind of helps to have all those in place. And so one of the things that I ran across was one of my book pages that I had printed with the roses, and I had seen in a couple places, one was Lindsay Zener from Nevermore. She had done book page envelopes like this, and then Missy Solomon from A Unique Treasure, I think it is. Anyway, I will link both of them. She does something that's even a little bit cuter, where she puts coffee dyed paper inside, and it's really neat. So I will link both of their tutorials on how to make this kind of envelope, because they've put it all out there for you. You may as well watch them do it rather than watch me do it. And also because I want to introduce you to their channels too, because it's good to watch a variety of different people who are teaching about junk journaling. So basically what I did was I took this page and I folded it up here and folded down what I wanted to be the opening, and then I sewed all the way around here like this. Very simple, didn't do any cutting. Since I just kept sewing, it curved on the sides, so I just went ahead and curved those corners. And then I put down some of the thread that I've been gathering from what frayed when I made my cover, a little tiny bit of the fabric from the cover, and a button. And I'm still struggling with my glue. I'm going to actually write to the company that I got this from, because it's really thick and it's not coming out. And so, I don't know if they'll replace it or what. Hopefully they'll replace it. Otherwise I'll figure out some other way to use it, with a stick or something, I guess. I don't know. But we're going to have to use a different glue today, which I'm not thrilled about, because that really is my favorite glue. So anyway, this will be a great place to put little, I can put some stationery in here, or I can put small cards, or just some little things, whatever comes up. And I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put that yet. The other thing was that I had that trifold, let me see if I can find the other part of it. There was a trifold in the kit, and I was going to use it as like a journaling card or something, and have it trifolded and put some lace on it or something. And I was looking at it and thought, oh my goodness, this would just be really pretty pockets, because I love this leaf, and that was what was in the center of it. So I'll find where I sewed the center one, and then I've got these other 2 left that I'm going to sew in. So I just made this into a really simple pocket. I might actually add, so I've fallen in love with this lace now. It's just perfect for this journal. I might actually add some lace to the bottom of that, I'm not sure. Or I might add one of Melody's trims, like maybe even that one. I'll have to see if I have a longer piece of it. I've printed it in all different sizes, so I probably have a piece that I can put across there. And then what I did was I took the other 2 pieces, and I love this trim right here. I don't think I've used it any place except for that belly band, and I really like it. Part of the reason I like it is because it's kind of masculine and the journal is super feminine, and so I like that juxtaposition. And then this was another one of the trims, and again, I shrank these down. I printed them off in quite a few different sizes so that I would have a variety to choose from. So I attached the green one first with zigzag, you can see there, and then I laid this over it and I put it up just far enough so that you can see the zigzag underneath, because I just like that texture there. And then after sewing those things on, I zigzagged all around this thing, and I really fought with my machine. It was having problems. I actually had to take the machine apart, and it ate out of this, but I like that. In fact, I think I'm going to distress it a little bit more just to make that show up more. And then also the thread really messed up here, but doesn't that look kind of cool? I mean, it just looks, yeah, I don't know, it just looks really cool. And it ate part of this too. So, but I like that. Okay, and I only had this much of that trim, so I'm going to overlap these on one page, and I'll show you when I get to that part. So let me just add some distressing to where my sewing machine ate my work, because I just think it makes it look, you know, older, and makes you kind of wonder, gee, what happened? I remember on, I think it was Fixer Upper, my husband and I used to love to watch that. I think it was that, it might have been a different show, but they were going to put in a mantle and they wanted to make it look really old, and so they were like, yeah, somebody ran into it with a stein here and they hit it with a rock, and somebody did this, and it's like they made up this story of all this stuff that happened to this brand new mantle to make it look old. And so that's kind of like what this is, except I just told you the real story. Okay, so we've got this glued in, and I may add some lace later and some other things. I'm going to show you some of the other stuff that I'm going to do. I'm looking for a place for this pocket. Okay, and I'm also, oh, and then this was some paper that was left over from that really fancy bag pocket that I still need to show you guys how to make in here somewhere. Not sure where it is. This one here. Okay, I had cut off the top of the bag there. So there's this, and I just thought that'll be just a nice little tuck, and I'll probably add something more to it. I don't know what yet. And then I'm looking for a page where I can put both of these together. And I think I had a page for that. I also made up some postage stamps. Kind of funny. You can create these things. Is this where I wanted that? No, I don't think so. I think it was yeah, it was this page right here. Okay, because I like this background. I don't want to cover up that leaf. I really like that. So I want this one on top, because it's got the trim that goes all the way across, and this one only goes part way. So what I was thinking was like this, and I was thinking that this one would be a side pocket this direction, and then this one would be a top pocket, so that, you know, like whatever I have, a ribbon or whatever from the top is going to show out the top that way. Okay, so I want to, I guess I need to put down this one first. Okay, and I'm using the Aleene's Tacky Glue, which is new to me, and it comes out pretty quickly and pretty thick, and that's probably because I may have cut too much off the top of the bottle to get it flowing the other day. Okay, now I don't want to do the top, right? So I'm gonna do both sides, and I wanted it up pretty close to the top and over to the side. Okay, so there we go, and got a lot of glue there, so it's going to squish out, I'm sure. Okay, I kind of like sometimes to do things a little crooked and everything, so that's what we're going to do on this page. Okay, now I want to leave this side open right here, because that's where we're going to be able to put things in. So I'm going to do everything except for that side. So I hope everybody's having a great day. We have just been having adventures. My husband lost his wallet yesterday. We're pretty sure he lost it someplace at Walmart. So we're hoping that he can find it, or that someone honest found it and turned it in. Because, you know, it's a real pain to have to call in and have all your cards stopped and get new cards, get a new driver's license and everything. And then on top of that, he's got some pretty sentimental stuff in there. He's got some old pictures in his wallet, but I would really hate to see him lose. So I'm just praying that he'll be able to find that. Okay, so that's it for now, and again, I might add a little bit more to those. So let's look for a place to put this envelope, okay? And it can really be on either side of the page. We can make it go this way, we can make it go this way. Oh, actually, yeah, that's, ooh, I don't know. Yes, it'll just barely fit. Maybe I should just trim off just a little bit. I want to be careful not to cut into the thread, but I think I can trim it down just slightly. I didn't bother with inking this because it's already so dark. See if I can trim off just a little bit over here. I can't really at the top. See if we can get this to fit, because underneath this pocket would be a great place to have that. Yeah, okay, I think we can do that. That will be good. Okay, and do I want it to be a top? This is a side pocket. I think I'm not going to make this a pocket at all. It's just going to be an envelope. Well, you know what? I'll just leave it open. I don't have to put anything in it. But that way I've got the option. I like to have as many options as possible so that I can fit. I may not put something in there originally, but I may decide to add something later. And I may even add something that doesn't stick up that maybe someday somebody will discover. They'll go, oh wait, there's this little card in here that we never saw before, or something like that. Or maybe I'll discover it. When I'm old and senile and I've forgotten everything. I'm already forgetting things, so that's, yeah, kind of bad. It's like my husband tells me something and I say, oh, okay, I'll go back to the office and do that. And by the time that I get back to my office, which, you know, is like, I don't know, 25 steps, I've already forgotten about it. In fact, I've forgotten that I had something I was supposed to remember. Okay. So hopefully that will stay down. I'm not real familiar with this glue, so we're just going to have to see how it works. Okay, so we've got that little envelope there. Okay, and so the other thing, well, there's a couple of other things that I did. Okay, so, oops, just dropped a bunch of stuff. So one thing that I do is I don't like to waste paper. And so I'll just show you some of the stuff that I've printed up. So when I'm printing things, okay, like I printed a whole bunch of small postage stamps, which you'll see in a minute, but I also made them into postcards. And then I don't want to waste cardstock, it's kind of expensive, so I just fit in whatever else I could fit in. And I may use these in this journal, or I may not. But at least, you know, I'm using up the paper, and then I've printed it on the back too, and I printed a postcard on the back of this stamp. So, anyway, so I printed up a bunch of postage stamps that I made, and I had a little bit of room, so the little envelope that is in the kit, I went ahead and added in there, and I reduced it a lot, I mean, because it's normally a full page. So, and then when I cut it out, I accidentally cut off this tab here, so I put it down here, because that'll work just the same. So anyway, so I'm going to make a little tiny envelope to put someplace. And let's see, we need to distress, I was going to do this ahead of time, we need to just distress the parts of the inside that are going to show, and distress the edges. So I want to distress this right here, and I don't care if I get ink on stuff that's already in my book, because yeah, it's okay if that gets distressed a little bit more. Okay, I don't need to distress any more of the inside. Okay, that's going to show, and this, a little bit of this might show right here. And then I want to distress around the edges of the envelope. So anyway, yeah, Bill lost his envelope. He lost his wallet yesterday, and you know, and of course that's something, you know, any of us can do at any time. But I kind of think the older you are, the worse it is to lose something like that, because you have more shall we say, ephemera. I mean, that's really what it is. It's more of that stuff that you're keeping in there that's kind of, you know, memories and stuff. Photos, like a photo of his late wife, and I think he has a really old photo of his granddaughter who's, you know, like 30 something now. So, I mean, it's from like when she was like 3 or 4. You know, and those are special and I think pretty much irreplaceable. And so, you know, you want to be able to find those. I don't know if I'm going to put this so that the back will show or not. So, okay. So let's see where we want to put this. We don't, you know, I tend to start looking in the front, and so then I don't have as much in the back. And the other thing is that I will probably add things as I'm journaling too. I might go, oh, I really want a pocket here or something. And so I can always add that. It doesn't have to all be now. Oh, I don't think that I did this on camera. I cut one of those leaf things and I put it onto this envelope, and then here's the rest of it. And we had taken the card out when we were binding, so there's that. That's my gratefulness page. And then I put this here, and I'll probably put a verse here or something, I'm not sure. Okay, and we've got that there, which seems to be sticking well, what we just glued in. This might be kind of nice to have right here. I like the coffee dyed for writing on, but I think it looks really pretty with that envelope. So let's go ahead and we'll put the envelope together first. I'm going to put some glue right here on the edge. And whoa, boy, that really came out. Yeah. Okay, right there. Get this thing put together. There we go. And I'm just lightly pressing it because I have so much glue. I don't want it to just fill up the envelope. Okay, and I'm going to make this a top pocket. So I'm just going to put glue around the sides and the bottom of it on the back. And again, I'll probably come back and add something more to this. Maybe, you know, while I'm still making the journal, but more likely I'll add stuff as I'm using the journal, which I think I told you all, even though I had said at the beginning I was going to make it my fall journal, I've decided to make it my summer journal. So I'm probably actually going to start using it very soon here, even before we finish these videos. Because my journaling situation for the summer is a little weird because I'm teaching a class online about Abraham, and I'm using a journal for that, but since I'm showing that journal online, I don't want to put anything really personal in it, so I wanted another journal for personal stuff, and I was making a different journal for that, but I really fell in love with this journal. Okay, so I had some of this paper left, and so I made a corner tuck that we can put someplace, and again, I think I'm going to start from the back. In fact, that would be perfect because it kind of reflects that. Okay, so that'll be great. Oh, by the way, I might get interrupted by a phone call. If I do, then I'll just restart it after the phone call, and so this will be 2 parts. I'm waiting for a call from a doctor, and you know how those things are. You can wait all day, and they may or may not call today. You know, it might be next week, for all you know. But chances are that if you do something that you don't want to be interrupted, that's when they'll call. So I figured if I start a video, they'll call, right? Isn't that how it works? So that's how you make somebody call. It's like getting my craft room organized. I expect that will, it's not organized right now, but if I do that, I expect that will make our house sell. If I go to all that work. Okay, so there's that. I'll add something more to that later. Okay, and then I've got this rose that I cut out from what was left over of that piece of paper that I made that corner thing from, the corner tuck. So I could make this into a small tuck. Oh, I know the perfect place. or I could, you know, I could put it on an envelope or something, but actually I think I know the perfect place where we had that little tiny bit of a paper bag that I said I would probably come and add something to it. Wow, this page has gotten really thick. That's kind of cool. When you glue things and sew on the pages and stuff, it really helps to stabilize the pages and make them a lot sturdier. Okay, where was it? There it is. How would that? Oh yeah. So then it really does make it into a corner tuck. Okay, we're gonna do that. That's really pretty. I like that. Okay, so I'm gonna glue it here. I'm gonna glue it from here, down here, and all the way down to the bottom, and maybe just a little bit up here. Okay. On that one side, I'm gluing it to attach it to the paper bag, and then the rest is to attach it to the page. Okay. It's so hard when you're used to one particular glue. It's really hard to get used to using something different. This is probably a perfectly good glue, but it's not what I'm used to. And I feel like I'm having to get used to a new thing all over again, which I know is good. It's one way to protect yourself from Alzheimer's, is to learn new things, right? Okay. So that makes a nice tuck, I think. That'll be really, really nice. Let me see here. Make sure I haven't glued it down at all. Nope. Okay, so that'll make a very nice little tuck. Okay, and then what else do I have? I think that's pretty much it. I wanted to show you these little postage stamps that I made. I won't try to show you all of them, but I took Melody's pages, the journaling pages that just had pictures like this on them, and I reduced them way, way, way down. Let's see here. I found this postage stamp vector image on pixabay.com, and then I took it to canva.com and I uploaded the postage stamp outline and some of Melody's page prints, and then I reduced those prints so small that I was able to make postage stamps out of them. I think this one's my favorite, that one there. And then since I'm working in Philippians in this journal, I made the country Philippi. That's actually was a city, but that's okay. That's what I'm making it. So I can put these postage stamps in various places, and I thought I would just do one right now to just kind of show you how you can do it. Let's look for something that needs to be decorated. Oh, maybe. What about that? I don't really, there's not very much contrast to that. I really want to use it on something that'll give it some contrast, like this. Okay, so this would be really cool on here. And I think I might put, I need to put something down here to hold this down, and I need to put the lid on my glue. Okay, I think that I might put some lace underneath that. I'm not sure if this kind of lace is what I want, or if I want to choose a different kind. Yeah, I think that would be nice. Okay, and then maybe even some of my thread, just to bring in a little bit more color. Some of this thread from the cover fabric. Okay, and I'm just kind of like wadding it up, and then I'm twisting it so that it's got kind of a bow shape, but not really a bow. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not trying to make it into a bow or anything like that. Okay, so like that. Isn't that pretty? I think that's nice. So, and the other thing is that we could do this on a paper clip if we wanted to, which I don't have any paper clips handy. I gotta take the lid off. I don't have any paper clips handy, so I can't do that right now, but I'll try to remember to show you how. If not, if I forget to do a video on that, then just look for a video on altered paper clips. There are quite a few of them out there, and so you can learn how to do altered paper clips, but I'll try to do some for this journal and show you. So I want to actually put this down a little bit better than that. And this just adds some interest to the page. It adds some layering without adding, you know, more bulk. It's not going to be hard to write on top of the page like that. Okay, and if I want to add a button underneath it, I could, but I think I'm just going to leave it like that, at least for now. The other thing is that while I was up at our house, I picked some leaves and I pressed those. So sometime later in the summer, I could come back and put in some of those pressed leaves and even maybe some pressed flowers, and that would be really pretty. So, you know, your journal, when you're writing in it, you're not just, when you're using it, you're not just writing in it, you can add all kinds of other things. A junk journal is in some ways almost like a scrapbook, because you can add just so many things from your life, pictures and all kinds of other stuff. Okay, now one thing though, I do want to warn you about pictures. If you've got coffee dyed paper or even just paper that you've printed and you don't have all archival quality paper, then you don't want to put any precious photos, originals in your junk journal, because the coffee dyed paper especially would probably ruin those eventually. But if they're digital photos, you know, that you can always make more of, or if it's an old photo, scan it and then use a digital print to put in your junk journal, and that would be okay, and that would be really cool. Okay, so I think that's it for today. Oh, I had this too that I wanted to put someplace. Let's look for one more place to put a stamp, and I'll show you. Well, I want to put a verse here though. One more place to put a stamp. Okay, so this might be good. Okay, so here's just a little bit of something that I cut out from the top of a page that I had printed on, and I didn't use the whole thing, so I had torn off this part, and I thought, well, you know what, I can use that for you know, for having in a collage. So I can put, I'm thinking of putting this stamp on top of it one way or another, like maybe like that. Okay, that would be kind of cool. Or maybe on the top. Maybe like that. What do you think? I think I definitely like the placement of the book page part. So let's put that on there, and then we can fool around just a little bit with the rest of it. It's kind of fun. I like using this, the book pages that I'm using are from my first novel, and I rewrote it so that particular version is out of print, and I don't want anybody to read it because, you know, I rewrote it for a reason, because I didn't think it was very good. It was good, you know, but it just, I was able to write it a lot better, and so I don't want people to read the old version. So the few copies that there were left, I took and I've been using in junk journals. Okay, so we also have a little bit of this rose here. There we go. There's my call. Okay, I will add more to this later. Bye.